name's Haley. I'm a real estate broker in Washington State. I'm a member of Keller Williams South Sound and on the Live Well Home Group. And today I'm meeting with Malcolm Miller of Fairway Independent Mortgage, and he's based in Lacey, Washington. And we're going to talk about something that causes some people some stress, which is bankruptcy. So I've spoken with a few clients recently who have bankruptcies in their recent history, and they're concerned about the ability to buy a home if they've had the unfortunate circumstance of having to file bankruptcy. So Malcolm, can you tell me a little bit of how filing bankruptcy impacts someone's ability to make a purchase in the future and being able to get a mortgage on that home?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait until 2 years after that bankruptcy is discharged in order to do a government loan.
Okay.
That's FHA or VA. And if you want to do something conventional, you're gonna have to wait 4 years
Okay.
after the discharge. Keep all your paperwork, every single piece of paperwork. Mainly going to be looking for the discharge paperwork.
Okay.
But it's best to keep an entire bankruptcy file once you do something like that.
Okay, perfect. So if someone comes to you and they tell you that they've filed bankruptcy within those time periods, then they would do the pre-approval with you, but you would also request for them copies of all their bankruptcy documentation just so that you're able to verify what process they went through.
Yeah, I'm mainly looking for the discharge paperwork, but if
Okay.
I say for example, something slipped through, I need to see if it was on the matrix.
Okay.
So if it was in the matrix and it just slipped through, then I can, make sure I get that fixed or whatever.
So if something was maybe still showing on their credit report
Mhm.
that was supposed to be included in the bankruptcy,
Right.
you would be able to view that on their documentation and then help them to get that fixed in case it's impacting their credit, and then move forward with the loan process.
Yep, I would be able to help them out with that for sure.
Okay, perfect. So that's super good information. Things do slip through the cracks sometimes.
Sometimes.
And in regards to payments, so after someone's filed bankruptcy, that's wiping the slate clean essentially. So what do they need to make sure that they do after they filed bankruptcy to keep themselves lendable at that point?
Number one, do not make another late payment on anything. If you wipe the slate clean, then the expectation is that you're getting your second chance. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
After that, you're gonna have to rebuild some credit. So you may have to take some of those riskier credit cards with like prepaid cards and stuff like that.
Right.
But you're gonna have to rebuild, and so that's gonna be an important thing.
So rebuilding your credit by making timely payments on new credit cards that maybe are lower balances, maybe secured credit cards,
Yeah.
things along those lines, but that you can make good payment history on,
Yeah.
which helps build a positive credit score after you've wiped the slate clean
Absolutely.
initially. So, okay, great. So for someone who wants to get a government funded loan, you said 2 years after they filed bankruptcy, they can do that, and then 4 years if they're looking for a conventional loan. So, that's great information that 2 years after you wipe the slate clean, you do have the opportunity to buy a home and, really move forward with your life and not have that impact you as much.
2 years after the bankruptcy is discharged.
Discharged.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chapter 13 as well
Okay.
is an option. I've done loans for people who are currently in a Chapter 13. A Chapter 13 does not mean you can't buy a house.
Okay. So Chapter 7 bankruptcy would be the more.
Chapter
Different.
7 is 2 years after the discharge.
Okay.
Chapter 13 can happen while you're in a Chapter 13 if you have a
Okay.
12-month clean history and the trustee agrees that you can buy a house. And
Okay.
then Chapter for conventional, but it's 4 years for conventional.
Right.
So 2 years for FHA, 4 years for conventional.
Perfect. Cool. Okay. That's some super great information. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And so those of you who have filed bankruptcy, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you along with the process and get you to a point where we can get you pre-qualified and into your next home. Have a great day.